Guys, have you ever stumbled onto a diecast gold mine at the flea market? Check this out. This is David at Twice Diecast, and I was at one of my favorite diecast hunting grounds here in Leeds, Alabama, the Bama Flea Market Mall, and noticed this new vendor, which, to clarify, is not a new vendor, but he has totally revamped his booth space at this flea market. And this is another amazing diecast hunting ground here in central Alabama for you collectors that are around me. Check out the setup. So we got Hot Wheels on the left, a little bit of Matchbox on the right, and then even more Hot Wheels on the right. This vendor is wearetoys.com. Go check out his site. I haven't even been yet, so I don't know anything about the prices or the selection, but everything is pretty impressive from what I saw today. Now, this is a guy that I've bought from in the past, never met him, don't know him. I recognize a lot rather, of the inventory. And as you can imagine, there are probably a couple thousand cards here. We're not going to look at all of them here today. There's no way I could have gone through every card. This would have been a 4-hour video. So I'm going to kind of scan the outer ones, stuff that I find cool, like this Dodge Caravan, for example. Don't see that casting too often. So anything that grabs my attention, we will pull it off the pegs and look at it. I'm really interested in the variety of ages. Check this out. That Mazda Miata, we know this is a pretty old one based on that card art. And sure enough, 1991, 33 years, still sitting here, minty fresh in the blister. That's what I love about these flea markets. Just no telling what you're going to find. A lot of current stuff mixed in. And once we get to some places in the video where we just kind of pan over a lot of cars at one time, I'll just shut up and let you guys listen to some music. You guys can check it out, see if it is worth a road trip for you and your collection. But let's get to it. Let's dive in. This guy really collected, I assume it's a guy, and if it is a woman, my apologies, ma'am. However, if it's a dude, he collected a lot of first editions. I have enhanced my collection with a lot of first editions in the past, kind of like this Pikes Peak Tacoma. He is got tons and tons of first editions. If you don't know, those tend to have a little bit more detail than a normal mainline might have. You can see all of these cards have really clear pricing on them. No flea market mess where you can't find a price or you have to take it up front to ask. These are all well stickered and easy to find a price on. And I guess we're just going to start diving into these pegs here. Got some old Mercedes, got this old Anglia panel truck, which is really cool. You don't see that too often. 2000 first edition. Here's what I was talking about. You got some new stuff mixed in, but a lot of cool stuff. The guy has good taste. Check out this Cadillac tuned. Good old Escalade right here. First edition on that. Don't mind that at all. All right, we will just keep on cruising. How about this Volkswagen? This is pretty clean. Don't mind that at all either. A lot of specialty series, a lot of entertainment series. You'll see as we get through here some stuff, frankly, I had never seen before, like special gift packs and sets. I'm going to try and show you the price on all of the interesting stuff I found. I'll also make sure I clean up all my mess. Really like that Fastback first edition, 2008. Already 16 years old, hard to believe that. Love this NSX casting, one of my favorite Hot Wheels castings of all time. And I love the weirdo stuff. Check out this Toyota RSC. Don't even know what concept vehicle that was supposed to be. Maybe a RAV4, I have no idea. But I like the branded automaker ones that were concept cars. Not necessarily a big fan of this. I was curious because I saw the blisters, so I thought maybe it was going to be something, I don't know, noteworthy, but it was just a lot of regular stuff. Now this is a first edition Lotus, I believe. Some of you completionists might find that interesting. Not the most attractive car to me. For delivery, and just making sure nothing super crazy in those protectos in the back there. I know you guys can see some of the stuff on the bottom shelf. I'm going to try and hit all of it. This was a lot of commemorative stuff from, I think, the late 90s, maybe 1998, based on a 30th anniversary label that was on all of these packages. I think these came out in 1998. Interesting that the prices on these were the same as some of the main lines that you'll see later. I like that they're still in the packaging. Packaging looks good. If you guys collect some of that special edition Hot Wheels stuff, this might be worth your trip. Love the throwback to the Sweet 16 packaging on this one. That is obviously a commemorative piece, not an original Hot Wheels. A little bit of my international brands mixed in. You guys know I'm a fan of those. We'll see just a smattering of those throughout this video. Gonna be mainly about Hot Wheels and Matchbox today, and I don't think anybody minds that. All right, I'm gonna shut up for a second. We're gonna pan and scan the rest of these pegs for a moment. Pretty cool first edition here. Don't mind this Pontiac Firebird. Love the rake on that. Here's that Pagani here's the mainline version of the Super Treasure Hunt that year. And coming across, let's see if we can find some really old Hot Wheels. I know they're in here. All right, so I had seen these before. I didn't realize that there were some that were just kind of regular cars. This is from 2000, and this is a 57 Chevy, maybe? Yeah, 57, no, I'm sorry, T-Bird, rather. White walls, real riders on that, metal base. Pretty cool racing livery. And this little section here was interesting. You're going to find a lot of JDM and Ferraris and other exotics. This was really cool right here. This first edition Honda Civic in a Zamac finish. Look at that. 2003 first edition. Wasn't aware that particular colorway was in a Civic. $10 though. I don't know. If you want one, there's plenty of them. I think there's even a couple more on another peg. $10 each. Let's look at some of the other kind of interesting supercars in this section. There's that Acura concept. We got a Porsche GT3 Cup car. Some good old muscle. Can't get away from those too far here in Alabama. But there was a surprising amount of European muscle on display here. Didn't know about this Mustang Cobra. That's kind of cool. Nice cherry red finish. This car is from 1999 on the card. So we're talking about 25, 30-year-old cars. Cards are perfectly intact. Blisters are intact, not yellowed. Some really high quality Hot Wheels. Here's your chromed out Avis Quattro from Audi. Some Ferrari first editions, some open wheel racers. Love this F-150, pretty cool. Could have done without the yellow windshield on that. First edition Porsche Carrera. And just some more kind of early 2000s card art. Let's take out this Pontiac and look at the date on it. Not too old, 2021. I think one of the first retro flying custom sets, maybe. And I could be wrong on that. You don't have to correct me in the comments, but feel free to. Porsche 959 casting before it got retooled. That's the one that guys my age grew up with. A lot of this 911 Carrera casting on different cards here. He must have been a fan of that. Looks like an old treasure hunt right there. Real riders on that. Pretty cool set here from Hot Wheels Racing. Don't know why I even bothered filming that. See if I can find anything else. Now this is pretty cool. Flash slider from the rock and roll set. All right, let's look at a few 5-packs for you guys that collect those. This World Racer has a Lambo and a Ferrari in it. 2 Ferraris actually, or maybe one was a Porsche. Got a Lexus. Not too many of those in Hot Wheels castings. Here's an old, is this a Lesney or a Corgi casting that they put as a Hot Wheels? I don't remember the history on that. I know the wheels look jacked up. Here's a good Ferrari. I love this one right here. One of my favorite Ferraris that Hot Wheels ever did. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, when we look at this Dodge or Cobra coming up after this Ford Escort, that's a first edition. Pretty good looking one. Is this one right here? Not right there. Although that is pretty cool. Is this right here a treasure hunt, guys? It's got rubber tires on it. Shelby Cobra concept. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't collecting back then. You guys can tell me. I know a lot of you Cobra fans aren't the biggest fans of that model. More 959. There's a Corvette 2000 first edition. Love finding clean Ferraris on the cards. $10. I'd probably pay that for this one. Such a good looking Testarossa example, and it's got a little bit of extra front detail work on those indicators on either side of the grille there. I always thought that Hot Wheels did that casting right. Love the look of that one. Okay, we will make our way up and then over to some Matchbox, but before we go, I think this was my favorite car to play with as a kid. When I would have races on my bed, that was the one that always won. It was red with a black top, gold wheels on that. Love this 850i casting. Tried to customize one of those several times and the post always blew out on me, so I could never put it back together. All right, we will go over to some Matchbox stuff and get you guys caught up on what he has available. It's kind of hodgepodge. That's a really cool one right there. But the Matchbox has been picked over a lot by me, actually, in the past. And the older stuff is from the Tyco era. era, rather. Not my favorite either, guys. This right here with the crazy wheels. Not too many that I like from that era that I bought in the past. But nonetheless, it looks like he's adding current stuff as well. I'll shut up. We'll look at some Matchbox and then we'll head over to more Hot Wheels. If you're wondering, no, it did not work. The more I looked at these Matchbox models of yesteryear, the more I can appreciate the extra details you get on this scale. I didn't buy any. They were not the worst price. I think you could basically pick from any of these for $10. Some people collect that era. Not for me, but that's okay. This was kind of cool. You guys ever heard of Malibu? They did some 164 stuff. They also did examples in 187, like this Cadillac. I don't know if I've ever seen this Cadillac in Diecast before. Anyhow, found that interesting. I always show these to give you guys an example of how diverse some of these booths are. This is a really cool set right here. You don't see very often. Matchbox Premier, you get one pre-production raw version and then one finished vehicle. Check that out. Both of them are complete models. $10, 57 Bel Air, not the worst deal. This was one of those sets that I was telling you guys I'd never seen. Looks like some sort of Christmas mystery gift set, maybe. Or just that they're pre-wrapped. I think those are the cars that come in the box. I couldn't find otherwise. And over here on this side, these were not $10, but they were a little bit nicer Hot Wheels. Some old blue card, maybe black wall. That's what they call them, right? This is from 1991, so we are talking about 33 years old sitting on the card. Interviewed Kirby at Curb's Garage recently and got educated on some of the eras of Hot Wheels and how they are making a resurgence in collectability, desirability, and still some guys out there that collect the classic stuff. And it is good to see that and see some of these old ones. You know, this stuff after red lines and after the 80s sometimes gets overlooked. Still cool. They were still making decent cars back then. 65 Vet, absolutely jacked up in the back. Don't mind this Hot Wheels racing livery on this Bug. Range Rover never looked worse, in my opinion. They tried with the one you'll see in a minute with the Union Jack on it. Good Z4, remember that guy? Lensed headlamps on that. Hard to find 928 casting, right? I don't know why, but every single one of those has super heavy paint jobs on them. Whether it's that one or the green one, seemed like they just had extra heavy paint. Now there is a 65 convertible that brought back a lot of memories for me. And a tuned Ferrari, which brought back zero memories for me. Love that Challenger first edition right there. All right, I'm going to shut up while we're panning the rest of these, and then we'll pick up right before we head out. Okay, if you joined us midstream, we're in Leeds, Alabama at the Bama Flea Market Mall. I don't know what it's called. It's in Leeds, Alabama. You'll see it if you look for it. Before we head out, I intended this to be my outro, but on my way out, I found this one vendor that had some green light. So this brings up a good point. This flea market has probably a couple hundred booths, and I would say 10 to 15 of them had diecast. Diecast collectors, fans of anything cool, you need to make it a point to head on down to Leeds, Alabama. It's a few miles outside of Birmingham, and you're 2 miles down the road from a Buc-ee's gas station / beef jerky heaven. So worth your drive. This is David at Twice Diecast. If I can answer any questions about the stuff you've seen on this video, let me know. Happy to bring it to you, and I will continue getting out there hunting and finding more spots for you guys to find cool stuff for your collection. Until then, I will see you guys on the next video. Take care. This is David at Twice Diecast.